Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Marnice Nicole Creative Life. And today I wanted to share with you my top 5 acrylic paints to work with. I have been painting for over 9 months now. It's October, it's getting into fall, and I'm spending a lot more time indoors, which means a lot more time painting. I still haven't gotten up to the daily painting, although I am trying. You don't always have the time between jobs and families and friends. However, when I do paint, I have found that I'm actually using more of the same color palette, or not even the same color palette, I'm using the same paints. And I guess these are just my favorite paints to work with. I really love them. I always reach for them. These are the paints that I have bought the most of. And the first one I wanted to talk about was Burnt Umber. Now, of course, this is a staple to have in any painting collection. You use this for mixing, you use this for shadows, you use this, well, everywhere. At least I do. I use a lot of this. I use this for skin tones. Well, I'll use this in my first layer when I'm putting down just initial colors. A lot of my painting, I found, I work in layers. It's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers before I'm finished. This one is 7 layers in its completion, and for this painting, an example, I used this Burnt Umber for my first layer before I went ahead and added the red and then the additional details. So use this a lot, all the time. A definite staple to have in your palette, of course. The next acrylic paint that I use so often, almost in every single painting that I do, is yellow ochre. This I love. I use it a lot for highlighting, which is surprising. I don't actually like using straight titanium white all of the time for my highlights. I feel like it brings it too bright. And so a lot of the times I will highlight with yellow ochre. I also use this when I'm lightening up my colors. So this is my 3rd bottle of this. I use this all the time. And since I use so much of it, I like to buy it in a student grade paint or in a craft paint, just because I go through tubes and tubes and tubes of this. So yellow ochre. The next color is an odd color choice, but I do believe it's one of my favorites. It's definitely top 5. This would be phthalo green. This is not usually a favorite color that I find people talk about a lot, but I actually love it, and I tend to work with the same color palette. Again, it's just the colors I reach for, and I use this a lot, not directly as phthalo green, but I use this a lot in my mixing, especially with the next color I'm going to show you. I use this to make an awesome purple. I also use it to make my blues, and I just love mixing this with my yellow ochre, with a few other colors. I just love the tone that this gives it. And opposed to using sap green, which I hardly ever reach for, this just gives me a nice tonal look that I like. I loved it on the more blue-green side. So there we go. Now the next color I was introduced when I purchased the Golden's sample pack, and I'll insert a picture here. The color that was originally, or the tube I originally had, was this quinacridone Magenta. This was in the sample set. I love this color. I have since bought several jars of the 8 ounce for the quinacridone Magenta. I actually prefer the color from the Golden line just because of the tone of it. I mean, across boards, colors do tend to stay the same. They're always quinacridone Magenta. However, I just prefer the Golden line. And this color I use with the phthalo green to make my purples. I use this color so much, it's ridiculous. And I go through jars and jars of this. Again, this is the color I always reach for. No matter what kind of palette I'm working with that day, somehow, some type of magenta, whether mixed or pure color, is put into that painting. And the final color that I love to work with is iridescent gold in the fine color. This is a new haul product, but again, I did have a sample in the sample Golden's kit, and so I went back and purchased this as well as the pearl iridescent color, and I love this. I love gold. I don't know if it's because of my girl and I'm obsessed with jewelry, or I like sparkly things, or I don't know what it is, but I love this color. It is just so nice, and I use it to highlight. I use it in my backgrounds often as well, just to get different depths in the background. I don't know. If you've seen my artwork, you know it is very, very abstract and very, very odd. But anyway, this is a color that I always reach for. This is another color I love to highlight with. This is a color I like to use to make my more flat pieces stand out. This is a color I love. It's so pretty, and it comes out of the tube just gold in your hand, and I'm such a girl about these things, but seriously, yes. So those are the top 5 colors that I love to use in my artwork, and I'll be back soon with another video. I'll try to keep updating this journal and this space with more updates on my journey as an artist. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you all have a good weekend. Bye.